Now we're going to move on from the ukulele and the guitar, and now I'm going to do a little something that I love to do. I'm going to play a little bit of harmonica for you guys. Would you guys like to hear a little harmonica? All right, well, let's see here. In order to play a little bit of harmonica, I'm going to play that little thing right there, okay? That's made by the Horner Harmonica Company in Trossingen, Germany. But not only am I going to play the harmonica, I'm going to do something that is a time-honored tradition amongst harmonica geeks, okay? Harmonica aficionados, people who really look at the history of the harmonica. You see, back in the old days, before folks had microphones, and before I could walk over there and I could adjust the reverb and put different sound effects on my voice, long before all that, harmonica players were clever. And what they would do is, they would look for anything that had an opening on both sides. And they would put that in their hands, put the harmonica up to it, and it would distort the pitch. Kind of like, if you will, if you know what I mean when I say someone taking a plunger at the end of a trombone or a trumpet, do you know what I'm talking about? Okay, that same effect. Okay, so, for example, here's a little Italian tomato paste can. Okay? But wouldn't you know, it's open on both sides, right? So, you know, I could do something like that where I put it up here and then I take my hand and I go like that, okay? And I have the great privilege, I kid you not, of being kicked out of not one, but 2 hardware stores in my life for playing through everything from flexible plumbing joints to PVC pipes to anything that I can find that has openings on both ends, because this is like American Express. I never leave home without it. It's always in a pocket or in my shoulder bag. Then I can make music wherever I go. You never know, you're going to have to play happy birthday for somebody or just brighten up somebody's day. And so there I was one summer night. My lovely wife, who's here with me tonight, and I were sitting in our backyard in Sheboygan, and the nights are kind of quiet there, and sometimes we like to throw a few logs in the fire and sit outside and have a bonfire. And so there we were sitting, enjoying a bonfire, having a glass of wine, enjoying each other's company. When I looked over, and on our picnic table, I noticed that there was a little oil lamp that we would light, and you got a little thing you turn, it's got a little cotton wick, and it was scalding the inside of the glass shade, which they call a hurricane lamp shade. And so I walked over there to turn it down a little bit, dial down the flame. And as I got close to it, something occurred to me. And I stood there transfixed, which was probably about a minute or two, but perhaps to my wife felt like an eternity. And then out of the darkness, she says these words to me: "Don't do it." Because only a wife could. Right? And I said, "Oh, come on, sweetie. You know, I want to let it cool down for a few minutes before I take it off of here." And I turned the wick down, and then I was like, "Take this inside, rinse out that soot inside there, and then I'll find a good song to play through this hurricane lampshade. I bet it'd be really cool, really cool." And she still hasn't sold her on this yet, you know. But you know, she's always been so supportive of all my crazy artistic ideas. So there she went. She brought it back out, and there you have it. So now I'm like, okay, I'm not sure what I should play. You know, I couldn't think of anything, and I know hundreds of songs. So there I'm sitting there after all this. I can't figure out what I should play. And I don't know why, but this old Appalachian folk song came into my head. Nothing too fancy. I thought, oh, I'm going to try this. And I couldn't believe how cool it sounded through the hurricane lampshade. Are you guys ready for this? Okay, this better be good after all this. Hang on a second here. I gotta wet my whistle if I'm gonna do this. This requires not a dry mouth. All right. Let's do it. Here we go. My old hen's a good old hen. She lays eggs for the railroad man. Sometimes one, sometimes two, sometimes enough for the whole dang crew. Cluck old hen, cluck and sing. Ain't laid an egg since way last spring. Cluck old hen, cluck and squall. Ain't laid an egg since way last fall. I had a hen, she had a wooden leg, best darn hen that ever laid an egg, laid more eggs than any hen around. I reckon another snort won't do me no harm. Cluck old hen, cluck and sing, ain't laid an egg since way last spring. Cluck old hen, cluck and squall, ain't laid an egg since way last fall. All right, well, it's ukulele time. Don't you all get too excited now. Well, this is a tenor ukulele that I'm going to play for you guys, and play a fun little tune that I like to play. There we go. All right. So everybody take a look at that beautiful, beautiful myrtle wood tenor ukulele made in Clearwater, Florida. And I'm going to do my best to make this instrument really kind of show you some of its sonic potential. I'm going to play, first I'm going to start out, I'm going to play an old tune from the late 1800s called Spanish Fandangle, which is an old Parlor guitar and banjo piece. And then I'm going to segue into another piece that I wrote for my daughter many, many years ago, when she woke up one morning and found her goldfish floating in the tank. And I had to figure out what to do quickly, because it was almost time for school, and I didn't want her going to school with that little tear running down her face and that little lip going like that. So I tried to be super dad for a moment there, and I told her, you know, well, why don't I write a song for Rio? That was the goldfish's name. Why don't I write a song for Rio, a melody? And then, you know, that's how we'll celebrate Rio's life. And then she looked up at me and said something that only a young kid could say. Because as we get to be grown-ups, sometimes we lose our imagination. And she looked at me and she said, Dad, with a straight face, mind you, Dad, Rio and I had a lot of good times together. And while I couldn't imagine what a good time with the goldfish is, I started to, you know, would it sound like a surf song? Or should it be some beautiful, sweet lullaby type of song? I couldn't figure it out on the day while on the way, and then finally, about an hour before it was time for her to come home, I finally got some ideas for a cool little melody, and I played it for her, and she loved it. And anytime she wanted to remember Rio, she just asked me to play this melody. So first we'll play Spanish Fandangle, and then we'll play Rio the Fisherman.